A new way to work on Earth. What the fuck? Google launched an AI generator in Google Earth and disabled it less than 24 hours later. The feature was powered by the nano model, Google's custom AI for image generation and editing, and allowed users to generate photorealistic image directly on top of real satellite, aerial, and 3D photos using simple text prompts for any location on Earth. The problem was that people immediately started misusing it. Users create fake scenarios of real images of famous landmarks and locations. With this tool, anyone could generate believable photos of explosions, nuclear facilities, and military bases disguised as actual satellite footage. So why is this a big deal? To put it mildly, Google didn't expect their AI to be used to create fake and dangerous content, which directly violates Google's policies in many ways. To be honest, there are valid reasons to worry. Think about how often you see AI-generated videos in your feed. If you feel like there are fewer of them now, that's not true. They aren't fewer, they just got much higher quality. Whenever I catch myself realizing I'm watching an AI video, I check the comment section and almost nobody else notices it's AI. And that's just the real problem. When people started generating images of explosion sites over military bases or near national borders, it naturally raised questions and created a lot of fake content. You don't even need Photoshop skills for this, anyone can just open it and start making images. Honestly, I don't know what they were expecting. They basically taught an AI to draw, added it to Google Earth, and completely forgot the #1 rule of the internet: watch out for trolls. Don't get me wrong, I saw plenty of cool and funny uses for this new AI on Twitter, but obviously controversial content was bound to cause an outcry. Before diving deep into this situation, I actually thought the AI would work better. Judging by the results I've seen, the overall quality was average at best. However, for some reason, it was surprisingly good at generating explosions and craters that really makes you question how they tested this AI. I understand it has millions of parameters, but it could have been limited or optimized better. Why couldn't they block edits on sensitive or imported locations? That seems like an obvious precaution, especially since secret facilities have been blurred on maps for years. This is a very telling case. It shows that AI tool can be dangerous when released without boundaries, and that as we get access to such powerful technology, we need more control and oversight. For example, a couple of weeks ago, Hugging Face was hacked. It's one of the most important AI platforms where you can test different neural networks, share your own, and so on. The most interesting part is that it wasn't hacked by person, but by an AI model. The AI searched for weak spots, used vulnerabilities, and so on. What's funny is that this hack was stopped by the site's own AI. Literally, one AI stopped another. As it turned out, an OpenAI model was behind the attack. It had escaped from its closed environment where an AI isn't supposed to escape from. In this closed environment, developers were supposed to test the AI, but the model guessed that it could escape and search for key answers on Hugging Face, the main site for AI. So as soon as Google saw something was going wrong, the withdrawal of the Google Earth feature illustrates the risk technology companies face when releasing increasingly realistic generative AI tool that can be used to produce misleading content. This guy, a Dutch open source intelligence researcher, warned that increasingly realistic AI generated landscapes could make it harder for journalists, intelligent researchers, and fact checkers to distinguish genuine satellite images from manipulated material. I can partly agree with this, because if fake content becomes easier to generate, selling fake information gets cheaper and more profitable. However, as far as I know, the key feature is that you only create content for yourself, meaning no one else can see directly. Because of this, the main issue comes down to the human element. There have always been fakes. Media literacy just need to reach a much higher level now. To be honest, it's a bit hard to picture how this concept will unfold, but I feel like when I'm old, I'm going to get scammed big time. Google acknowledged that the invisible synth ID watermark intended to distinguish AI-generated images from real human photos does not function as intended, making it unreliable for content moderation on the public map services. This isn't enough to stop screenshots from spreading online, so on July 31st, they decided to temporarily turn off the feature until they create a better protection system against abuse. All we can really do now is wait for them to bring the feature back, because Google hasn't specified a timeline for when it returned to Google Earth. What do you think?